3 villages, 2 ancient churches, an abandoned railway, a lost World War II airfield, and honestly, more village pubs than any sensible bike ride should include. We are starting today's journey just outside Hamstead Norreys on the Eling Way. This smooth cycling path was once a bustling railway line, completely silenced by the Beeching cuts in the 1960s. Today, instead of steam engines, it's just us, gliding through the quietest corner of West Berkshire. Leaving the old railway trackbed behind, we're riding down Newbury Hill and making a turn onto Water Street. This lane is absolutely magical. You can see crystal clear streams flowing right past the front gates of the historic thatched cottages. Now onto Church Street, we pass the striking St. Mary the Virgin Church. Keep an eye on it, because we are actually going to return here for a much closer look a bit later in the ride. We pass the White Hart pub. This quiet local inn holds a direct, bloody connection to the most infamous king in British history, Henry VIII. The village itself takes its name from the Norreys family. Sir Henry Norreys was Henry V's closest friend, his confidant, and the groom of the stool, the highest position a courtier could hold. But when Henry VIII wanted to get rid of his second wife, Anne Boleyn, Sir Henry was falsely accused of having an affair with the Queen. Despite their lifelong friendship, the king turned on him completely. Sir Henry refused to lie to save his own skin, and on May 17, 1536, the king had his best friend beheaded on Tower Hill. Leaving the village behind, we are riding out to find the former wartime airfield. This is Compton VAR, a World War II airbase so thoroughly abandoned that most Berkshire residents don't even know it exists. There are no signposts, no monuments, and no crowds here. Just cracked tarmac, reclaiming nature, and an eerie, beautiful silence. But if you look across the old runway, you'll spot a modern tower standing in the field. This is the Compton VOR beacon. Even though the military left in 1945, this exact spot is still actively used today by National Air Traffic Services. Heading back down from the Airfield Plateau and back into Hamstead Norreys. With that dark history in mind, our loop brings us right back to St. Mary the Virgin Church. It has stood watch over these fields for 9 centuries, meaning Sir Henry Norreys himself would have walked these exact paths before his fateful trip to court. Centuries ago, by royal decree, all men were required to practice archery after church on Sundays. Local longbowmen would literally grind their iron arrowheads right into the church walls to manufacture a lethal, razor-sharp edge before going off to fight for the king. From the ground, it's a tangible piece of military history you can actually touch, and a bird's-eye view reveals the full, untouched 900-year-old Norman layout. Next, we roll into Hermitage, anchored by the Victorian steeple of Trinity Church, before the lanes begin to narrow and the trees close in overhead as we climb toward Cold Ash. Up on this ridge, the world slows down completely, and you can literally hear the rooks in the trees. Pure, untouched Berkshire cycling. The church wasn't originally called Holy Trinity. When it was built in 1835, it was founded as the Adelaide Chapel, built under the personal patronage of Queen Adelaide, the wife of King William IV. If you look above the roof of the Adelaide Room on the outside, you can still see a carved royal crown and an inscription dedicated to her. And of course, we have to talk about the local pubs, like the historic White Horse. These local inns are steeped in legend. This entire area actually has deep ties to King Henry VIII himself, who seized these lands and local manors during the dissolution of the monasteries in the 1500s. It's wild to think that the land you are cycling through once served as a personal royal hunting ground. Leaving the valley floor behind, our route takes a dramatic turn upwards as we tackle the climb up to Cold Ash. This is a beautifully picturesque, elevated ridge village tucked just a few miles northeast of Newbury. We pass the massive, hidden grounds of the Downe House estate. Today, this is home to one of the most elite independent girls' boarding schools in the UK. The school was actually founded originally in Kent, inside the former home of evolutionary scientist Charles Darwin. Over the years, it has educated some remarkably high-profile figures including Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the beloved comedian Miranda Hart. Right at the architectural heart of the village stands St Mark's Church, built in 1864. This beautiful Victorian Gothic church was designed by the famous architect Charles Alban Buckler, and it is built from a striking combination of bright red brick and local flint that completely defines the character of the village ridge. And of course, true to classic English village life, Cold Ash is anchored by its historic ridge pubs, the Castle Inn and the Spotted Dog. Both of these inns date back centuries, originally serving as vital coaching stops and social hubs for the woodcutters and agricultural laborers who first settled this rugged ridge in the 18th and 19th centuries. Exploring England's forgotten places from medieval churches and streamside cottages to lost airfields and brutal royal history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments if you'd stop for a pint at the White Hart. Until next week, happy cycling!